Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a hidden layer of VA benefits that exists completely outside the standard percentage rating system. If you thought you already knew exactly how VA compensation worked, the standard percentages, well, you might want to grab a pen. We're looking at a totally unique financial mechanism that honestly, a ton of veterans are just completely missing out on. So let me ask you something. Is a 0% VA rating always worth $0? I mean, it's a super common assumption, right? 0% means zero cash. Well, today, we're uncovering a strategic benefit that literally turns that myth upside down. We're going to show you exactly how a 0% rating can actually trigger a monthly financial payout. To understand how that's even possible, we really need a massive paradigm shift in how we view these benefits. See, standard VA pay, the stuff most of us know about, that compensates you for lost wages and economic opportunity based on a percentage. But special monthly compensation, or SMC, is an entirely different ballgame. It's designed to compensate for severe loss, inconvenience, or extra care needs. It's not about what you can earn, it's about the daily hardship of what you've physically lost. Let's jump right into Section 1, the SMC-K add-on paradigm shift. So the VA uses letters for these special compensations. You've got L, M, N, O, R, S, T, but K is a completely different beast from the rest of that alphabet. The really crucial point here is that unlike those higher SMC levels that literally replace your standard check, SMC-K is uniquely designed to stack right on top of what you already get. Like, if you get awarded SMC-L or M, that becomes your new, higher base rate. But level K, it's a true add-on. It is extra compensation paid strictly in addition to your standard disability check. So what actually triggers this add-on? Well, we're looking at things like the physical amputation of a hand or foot, loss of sight down to light perception only, complete deafness in both ears, the inability to speak, the loss of use of both buttocks, a 25% or more loss of breast tissue from mastectomy or radiation, or the loss of a creative organ. But as I'm reading through that list, I want you to pay really close attention to one specific phrase, loss of use. Because that right there, that is where things get incredibly interesting. Moving right along to Section 2, decoding loss of use. Let's break down this legal jargon for a second, because here is the secret. You absolutely do not need an actual physical amputation to secure this extra compensation. The VA evaluates how your body actually functions day to day, not just whether a limb is still physically attached to your torso. Loss of use is legally defined as a functional failure of a body part that basically makes it no better than having an amputation. Think about the acts of grasping and manipulating things with your hand, or balancing and walking with a foot. If you literally can't do those things, the VA views it as functionally missing. In fact, the VA's own regulations, specifically 38 CFR Part 3350, say you need no effective function remaining other than that which would be equally well served by an amputation with the use of a suitable prosthetic appliance. This exact legal standard proves that functional failures, like, say, severe foot drop resulting from nerve paralysis or a knee that just permanently won't bend, are prime candidates for level K. You don't have to lose the limb. You just have to lose its practical, everyday function. All right, Section 3, the creative organ qualifier. Now, this is perhaps the single most frequently overlooked qualifier in the entire system. It's a massive blind spot that constantly leaves veterans' earned money just sitting on the table. Erectile dysfunction, or ED, and female sexual arousal disorder, FSAD, absolutely qualify for SMC-K. Why? Because these conditions represent the loss of use of a reproductive function. And here's the kicker. They automatically trigger that level K compensation even if your base rating for them is literally 0%. Remember that provocative question from the very beginning? Yep, this is exactly how a 0% rating turns into actual tax-free monthly cash. And just listen to this incredible directive straight from the VA's own claims manual. When a diagnosis of ED is present but indicates the veteran can penetrate and ejaculate without medication, resolve reasonable doubt in the veteran's favor and grant SMC-K. This is huge. It powerfully demonstrates that even if you can achieve function, with or without medication, the VA's own internal rules mandate that they resolve reasonable doubt in your favor and award the benefit. The examiner literally just has to establish the diagnosis. Oh, and here's some fascinating and maybe kind of surprising legal logic. Prior elective vasectomies do not disqualify you from SMC-K if you later develop service-connected ED. The VA essentially says, look, modern medicine can potentially reverse a vasectomy, but it cannot reverse the functional loss of use caused by your service-connected disability. So whatever you do, do not assume a past surgery automatically disqualifies you from this compensation. Let's bring it all together in Section 4, the strategic impact and stacking benefits. So, what does this hidden gem actually mean for your livelihood? Well, for the year 2026, the precise tax-free monthly amount added to your existing paycheck for every single SMC-K award you qualify for is $139.87. Now, I know what you're thinking. $140 a month might not sound like a retirement plan all on its own, but remember, this is an add-on, and more importantly, it stacks. Exactly. Because it's an add-on, you can actually stack up to 3 of these awards for different body parts to literally multiply that monthly payout. The rules are strict, but they're pretty simple. You get 1 award per affected arm or leg, meaning you can't get 2 awards for the exact same leg. For reproductive organs, it's 1 award total, regardless of the specific parts involved. But let's say you have a service-connected loss of use of a foot plus service-connected ED. Boom, you're stacking those $139 payments right on top of each other. You can do that up to 3 times. Now, it is vital to know that there is a ceiling here. If your overall disabilities require the absolute highest levels of care, the Level K add-on gets absorbed into those massive payouts. Basically, your combined payout cannot exceed the SMC-O ceiling rate. And if you're awarded the very highest SMC-R or SMC tiers for intensive daily aid and attendance, the SMC-K drops off entirely. But on a very positive note, if you were ever hospitalized at government expense, your SMC-K payments are completely protected. They are retained and will not be stopped. Which brings us to a massive strategic insight that we like to call the gateway effect. Think about a 0% ED rating. Maybe it was secondary to PTSD or diabetes meds that was just overlooked years ago. That acts as a protected benefit. So the crucial takeaway here is that uncovering a past 0% rating that the VA simply forgot to attach Level K to, that could result in years of retroactive compensation. We're not just talking about getting an extra $140 next month, we are talking about claiming a benefit that might have been quietly accruing back pay for an entire decade. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Are hidden conditions leaving your earned benefits on the table? Sometimes the biggest financial impacts don't actually come from fighting endlessly for a 100% standard reading, but from understanding these structural hidden rules. Understanding SMC-K is the key to unlocking the full targeted compensation you have rightfully earned. So please, take a look at your medical records, search for those functional losses, and make absolutely sure you aren't leaving this add-on behind. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.